This dog isn't waiting, he's monitoring. And that difference matters more than most people realize. When people see him like this, still, quiet, unmoving, they assume nothing is happening. They think he's bored. They think he's tired. They think he's just standing around until something finally gives him a reason to move. That assumption is wrong. Waiting is passive. Monitoring is active. And confusing the two is how people misunderstand this dog completely. People expect readiness to look dramatic. They expect tension. They expect movement. They expect signs. But real readiness rarely announces itself. Real readiness looks like nothing. That's why people miss it. When humans wait, they drift. Their attention softens. Their awareness narrows. Their mind wanders toward comfort. But this dog isn't drifting. He's tracking patterns. He's reading space. He's measuring distance. He's observing behavior without reacting to it. And the fact that you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. People think calm means disengaged. But calm in this context is compression. Everything is held back on purpose. Movement is delayed. Emotion is regulated. Reaction is restrained. Not because the dog is unsure, but because he's already decided what matters. This is the part that feels uncomfortable, because people want reassurance. They want a dog that checks in, a dog that looks back, a dog that seeks confirmation. But confirmation creates dependency, and dependency weakens judgment. This dog doesn't look to be told what to do in every moment. He doesn't ask permission to stay focused. He doesn't need reassurance to remain present. That independence is not distance, it's trust. Monitoring requires confidence. A dog that is uncertain reacts early. A dog that is anxious reacts often. A dog that is emotionally attached reacts personally. This dog reacts precisely, and precision requires restraint. People think readiness means being on edge, but edge behavior burns energy. It exhausts attention. It creates false positives. Monitoring conserves energy. It keeps the system quiet until it's needed. That's why this dog can sit still for hours. Not because he's tired, not because he's lazy, not because he's waiting for permission, because nothing has crossed the line yet. People don't understand lines. They think boundaries are obvious. They think threats announce themselves. They think danger is loud, but real danger doesn't advertise, and real protection doesn't perform. This dog isn't scanning wildly. He's narrowing focus. He's ignoring what doesn't matter so that what does matter can't slip through unnoticed. That selectivity is not apathy. It's discipline. When people interfere, they break this. They mistake stillness for disengagement. They mistake silence for boredom. They mistake neutrality for lack of bond. So they try to wake the dog up. They call his name. They demand attention. They reward reaction. And slowly, they teach him to break focus. The dog learns to check in, to look back, to split attention. And once attention is split, monitoring fails. Not immediately, gradually, quietly. That's the danger. The system doesn't collapse all at once. It erodes. The dog hesitates. The response delays. The judgment softens. And the moment comes when action is required. And the dog is half a second late. People don't notice half seconds. But half seconds are the difference between prevention and reaction, between control and chaos, between nothing happening and everything happening at once. Monitoring is not dramatic. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't give feedback. It doesn't reassure observers. It just works. This dog doesn't pace. He doesn't posture. He doesn't perform alertness. He absorbs information quietly. And that quiet absorption is what makes him effective. People often ask why he doesn't react sooner, why he doesn't bark more, why he doesn't move more, why he doesn't do something. The answer is simple. Nothing has required action yet. Action without necessity is noise. Noise attracts attention. Noise creates fatigue. Noise trains false responses. Monitoring filters noise. This dog doesn't need to prove readiness. He maintains it. And maintenance is invisible. Here's what most people don't want to hear. If this dog reacted every time something might be wrong, he'd be unreliable when something is wrong. If he moved constantly, his movements would lose meaning. If he reacted emotionally, his judgment would distort. Monitoring means choosing not to act most of the time, and choosing not to act is harder than reacting. People think discipline is obedience, but obedience is external. Discipline is internal, and internal control doesn't require supervision. This dog doesn't wait for instructions. He waits for thresholds, and thresholds are not emotional. They are objective. That's why he looks calm. Calm is the surface expression of a settled decision system. Nothing is unresolved. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is competing for attention. When people say he looks bored, they reveal their own discomfort with stillness. Because stillness offers no feedback. Stillness doesn't reassure. Stillness doesn't flatter. Monitoring doesn't care if it's seen. It cares if it's correct. This dog isn't waiting for something to happen. He's ensuring nothing happens. And that difference is everything. Because success in this role looks like absence. No incident, no intervention, no reaction, just quiet continuity. Most people never learn to respect systems that work silently. They trust noise. They trust movement. They trust visibility. But reliability is quiet. This dog isn't slow. He's deliberate. He isn't passive. He's selective. He isn't waiting. He's monitoring. And the reason you don't notice when he's doing his job is because the job is already being done. By the time something is obvious, it's already too late. That's why I don't interrupt him. That's why I don't demand attention. That's why I don't mistake stillness for inactivity.